10, 9.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
He's in! Patriots win the Super Bowl!
Either all of them are okay, or none of them are okay.
The Academy Award for Best Picture.
La La Land.
There's a mistake. Moonlight, you guys won Best Picture.
Nintendo is having a strong start in sales this year with the launch of that Switch console. It had the highest sales for any system in Nintendo's history in the first 5 days after its release.
PewDiePie made these people on Fiverr say death to all Jews, and then they got banned.
Growing international boycott of YouTube and Google ads.
Gabby's show is claiming that Rice Gum physically hit her. And I don't think it's a joke.
The Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus.
It's now made social media history. It's the most retweeted tweet of all time.
Wow. Jake Paul came out with a brand new music video, and it's titled Jake Paul. It's every day, bro.
In a video they called Tablet Destruction Prank, at one point the dad pushes Cody. That sends him face first into a bookshelf.
If you don't know what a fidget spinner is at this point, it's one of these. You spin it.
We are proud to welcome Xbox One X.
$22,000 people, and then the sound of rapid automatic gunfire erupting.
New breaking news out of Texas where there's been a church shooting.
DC voting along party lines 3-2 to repeal net neutrality.
Is this new Creation Club? Bethesda basically created paid mods.
Rockstar and Take-Two are going to be taking away your OpenIV mods.
The Warriors are NBA champions again.
This is iPhone 10. It is the biggest leap forward since the original iPhone.
Toys R Us did file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
It's surreal just looking at this image, honestly.
After killing more than 24 as it tore across the Caribbean last week.
Thousands of dollars later,
we won the court case!
You're a rapper who can't resolve shit with words?
So EA right now is in an absolute world of shit. In Star Wars Battlefront 2, you know there was supposed to be loot boxes and microtransactions. There was a huge backlash from the gaming community.
It's been a volatile week for Bitcoin as the CBOE prepares to unveil the first ever futures market for the cryptocurrency.
The game of the year goes to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Okay, can you swear here? Can you swear? Okay. Fuck the Oscars, you know? Fuck the Oscars! Fuck you! I'll tell you!
That never gets old. So this year has been, I don't really know how to put it. I mean, it's really mixed. I honestly really had some good times in this year and a few bad ones. For the most part, it's an experience for all of us, not just like a personal thing. You know, like the examples I just showed. And yeah, I'm just gonna talk about all of this. So we did have a lot of terrible things that happened, like with all of the shootings that happened like almost every month, which was insane. It wasn't just shootings, it was also just terrorizing in general. And I didn't say terrorists, so if someone's gonna be like, they weren't all terrorists, yeah. I meant just terror. I'm not gonna express my opinion on all of that because that is a whole can of worms. Oh my god. But of course I did have to add some things cause they happened whether you like it or not. I guess like my teacher always says, don't shoot the messenger. So as we saw, President Trump became... So the biggest event of the beginning of the year was our new president, Donald Trump. I can't comment anymore or else I will be assassinated. Either way, opinions are taken very seriously either way of the spectrum, so I can't comment. Also, this was a very big year for gaming because we saw this revolution. We saw people finally stand up and say no more. People are right now very angry with the microtransaction situation. even at Nintendo when they announced the DLC pack for Breath of the Wild. Now, personally, I bought the DLC pack, and I actually enjoy it. The first one was totally not worth it because it didn't really do anything, but the second one gave us a new story, so I was pumped, and I'm still playing it till this day, so it's not really that sort of 20-minute DLC. It actually takes time. And if you didn't already know, there's a motorcycle and all that cool stuff, so I think it's great. The One X was also announced, and I think that's a very big leap for people who like 4K. Now, like I've said before, I don't really see the difference between 4K and 1080p, but that's just my opinion. We have seen Microsoft though get in trouble with PUBG because PUBG won't be in 60 FPS, so that's a little bit odd. And PUBG alone has been getting some heat in the past, even suing Fortnite. I can't believe it. The company's insane. I know a lot of you guys probably like the game, but the people there are crazy. Also, Nintendo. Like I said before, this was Nintendo's year. I've said this a bajillion times, so I'm gonna keep it short. This was Nintendo's year. This was the year that Nintendo takes back their rightful crown. I used to see them as a company that would die. I thought, this is it. This is over. I had hope for the Switch. I thought that it would do decently well. I just had two sides that were fighting between me saying it's gonna do really good, it's gonna do decent. But right now it's doing incredible. It has 10 million sales. I can't believe it. And they got a ton of awards for a lot of games. Even Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is like 3 years old basically. It's just an updated version of Mario Kart 8. And by the way, it's a fun game. I'm not saying that's bad. Of course, though, we'll have to see. The exciting games are coming out next year for the Switch, and I think it's going to be amazing. There are some companies, though, that are being attacked more than PUBG's company is. Like Bethesda. Creator Club is not a good idea. People are very angry at that. I know for the modders that are watching this video, they might be disappointed that I said that, but it's true. I understand this takes a lot to do, and it would be worth it to get paid, but making mods is more of something to do just for fun, because now if barely anyone's going to be willing to pay for the mods, what's the point of even making them if you're not even going to make any money or have anyone even download it in the first place? Now, not every mod is going to be here, it's really up to the mod creator, so there is that decision also. And speaking of mods, like you saw for my old VSN video, Rockstar removed OpenIV, which is like the best thing ever, and people were really pissed. I've never seen a GTA game get so many terrible ratings. There were so many, I was shocked. Of course now it's stabilizing again, but yeah, that wasn't a good decision, Rockstar. I'm sorry. And Take-Two. And of course, who can forget EA? Last year, it seemed like EA was at the top of the game, the king, the crown. It destroyed Activision. Activision was done. EA is now the king. And EA was hated in the past for other stuff, but this year, it was just not EA's year, dude. And I made a whole video on that, talking about Battlefront and how the whole thing just corrupted. But yeah, this wasn't EA's year. EA lost $3 billion worth of stock, and now they're under investigation for underage gambling, and just, it's a big mess. And EA was being extremely non-cooperative. They were saying, no, we're gonna keep microtransactions, we'll hold them for now, but bring them later. And that really shows how greedy this company is. Now for movies, I didn't really show movies that much in the little intro. Movies were pretty good. I know many people weren't really excited for Beauty and the Beast. I just showed that because that was the highest grossing movie for now. I don't know what episode 8 is gonna do. I know for sure that episode 8 is gonna be a big box office hit, and I haven't seen it yet. I'm actually gonna stop it right here so that I can fill in my non-spoiler, once again, N-O-N-E, spoilers. No spoilers at all. I'm going to tell you how I feel about it, just my feelings, right now. Okay, so I just got back from watching it, and wow. J.J. Abrams, I think you did good, but Rian, however you say your name, you are an incredible director. There were some times where I had to say, that wasn't really a good idea, but overall, wow. So other than that, for technology, I already discussed video games, so this year we also did lose some people, and we even almost lost companies. And we lost some companies. So we lost Mad Catz, which was a company that created controllers and hardware for consoles. It may not be something that everyone remembers, but as a 2000s kid, I totally remember that. Especially for people who have a PS2, oh boy. Oh boy. And we almost lost Toys R Us. I do see that Toys R Us is on the decline. GameStop is sort of a question right now. I don't really see GameStop dying anytime soon. There are some people that believe that they will die in like a decade. I can't really tell. I just can't. Now, this year we did lose Chester Bennington, and I do believe that it is something that we do need to raise awareness of, because we really don't know sometimes who's not okay, because, you know, people don't really like to say it because they don't want for people to worry. I think that just talking to a close relative, talking to a friend, talking to a significant other especially, those are very important things. We also lost one of the creators of Pac-Man. I didn't really see many people talking about that, but yeah, he made a huge impact in the gaming industry. He made one of the most addicting games ever, a game that is still loved today. We lost the dad from Home Alone, but the biggest death that happened this year, at least for the internet, was Charles, or Angry Grandpa. Now, I began watching Angry Grandpa back in 2013, regardless of what year you started, if you have watched him. If you haven't, I will link some videos I do recommend you watch, both the Angry Grandpa side of Angry Grandpa and the other side, which some people may not know, because I know some people who have only watched the rage videos and not the more calm side of him, because he really is a good person. I have seen people in the comments and on Twitter saying that he deserved to die because he gets angry a lot, and that's not the right way to think about it, because he has done a lot of good things. Sometimes he's filmed at his worst, and it seems pretty obvious that when you only show the bad side of someone or the more negative side of someone, people begin to assume things. And I have to say, Michael is one of the best sons I've ever seen. He's given his father everything, even though his father couldn't give him everything because they were poor. I mean, you could say that his father sort of gave him the money because, you know, he's the star and he's bringing in the revenue. But Michael didn't really have to do all of those things, and no one would call him a bad person because it's his money. But he decided to give it instead of just keeping it. And that really shows you what type of person he is. He is a good person. And last year I visited Charleston, and I actually had the opportunity to eat at Paul's Chop House. And if you don't know what that is, that's a restaurant that Michael and Angry Grandpa go to all the time. So I was able to see where they sit. They weren't there at the time, by the way. Just in case people are like, oh my god, you saw them? No, I didn't. But yeah, it's a nice place, believe it or not. One burger is $20 and the steak is $50. I'm not shitting you. It's really luxurious and the food tastes amazing. Now, other than that, we had some shitty things like the Emoji Movie, Jake Paul. Oh my god, the invasion of the Viners, dude. I know it seems really odd for me to talk about this stuff, all of this, because I'm usually just talking about like video games, but come on, I have to jump into the drama eventually. Now, other than that, I believe that the biggest tragic event had to be the hurricanes. There was just so many, and whatever your beliefs are, whether you believe it's global warming or it's just hurricane season, there's no doubt that this was really devastating. It may not have been devastating to some states and some parts of some states and areas. Luckily for me, because I live next to Disney, and I guess now we make that sort of ironic joke that Disney's like magical, that nothing bad happened to us really. I did lose my wall though, so I had to sleep in the living room for like almost a month, no joke. But yeah, like everything was in one piece. I did see like a Burger King and a McDonald's sign like torn in half, no joke. And remember, we were like a category, I believe 2 or 1. We went from like a 5 to a 1. I have no idea why. I feel very fortunate, and I feel really bad for the people in Puerto Rico and in Texas, because there are people right now, even though we all forgot about it, there's people that are still struggling and people that are still homeless. My grandparents are actually in Puerto Rico, and yeah, they still don't have a lot of commodities. And I think it was pretty messed up when there were people that were saying that people in Texas deserved it just because, you know, Texas is believed to be like a right-wing Republican state. And why should we bring politics into this? Like, it just doesn't work. I think that's one time that I'll express my political beliefs. You should never, like, express your political beliefs, especially in that manner, when there's a tragic event. So now let's talk about the main event. The thing that you saw at the end and you probably laughed, you probably said, what the fuck? Or some of you may have said, oh yeah, I remember that moment, what happened? So the creator of A Way Out, a new game that's being made by EA, the creator had a chance to talk a little bit, and before they showed some gameplay footage, he said,
fuck the Oscars, you know?
I haven't read any articles on why he said it, but I think we know why. I think we know why. It's pretty obvious. Because for some odd reason, some tard accidentally put La La Land as the winner for the best motion picture. Now, how do you make this mistake? I have no idea. And I feel really bad for the guy who read it because a lot of people thought that he couldn't read or whatever. The ironic part is that he didn't even read it. He looks just as confused as us. Look at him. Look at him. He's like, well, this doesn't look right. Is this right? And it really made it feel like a Steve Harvey sort of thing. And other than that, I mean, I think the other reason he said is because there's been rumors that it's been rigged and stuff like that, and it sort of does feel that way because I've never heard of La La Land or Moonlight or any of those movies until the Oscars. And I feel like some people like have had that same experience. The only time I've heard of like an Oscar movie that no one has heard of was Boyhood, and that's mostly because that made headlines. If you don't know what Boyhood is, it's a movie that was filmed over 12 years. It shows a kid from 6 years old to 18, so they filmed it in 2002 all the way to 2014 or 2013, whatever. Yeah, it's a really interesting movie. I do recommend that you would watch it. It's not like a little kid sort of type of film. It shows things that a normal kid would do. Well, maybe not everything. There's some pretty explicit stuff, but it does show a boy's hood, a kid's life. I don't, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, other than that, I think that's it. I can't wait to see what happens in 2018. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next year. Bye.